Hey everybody, it's Khristina from Redefined Kreative, and I am here with another process video for Wild Whisper Designs, and I'm kind of mixing a few different collections. So I have some Adventure Collection ephemera, I have some masculine pattern paper, and then I have some Pambray in that little 6x6 sheet, and that's just a leftover from an older collection that I have of hers, all from Wild Whisper Designs. And then I have this arrow cut file, and it is from Cut to You, and it is part of our Creative Cuts Club for the month of July. And so all I did is I took a bunch of those pattern papers, all from the masculine collection from Wild Whisper, and backed the arrows. Now, when I back a cut file like this, I tend to not fill in all of the arrows, and I really like that look. So if you are somebody who prefers to have all of your spaces filled in, go for it. But please know there is no rule in scrapbooking that says that you have to fill in all of the spaces. And so I personally prefer to have some of them that are left open. So then I've taken my really thin foam adhesive strips and used that around my arrows so that this particular cut file is going to be elevated off the page. And I especially love that look if I'm not filling in all of the spaces behind the cut file, because it still gives some texture and dimension without having every space filled in. So then I'm just going to take a few of my leftover scraps, and I'm going to create some banners in the top right hand corner, and then I'm also going to create just a couple of layers behind my photo. So I'm using a 4x4 photo of my nephew, and he was visiting a place called Tombstone, Arizona, and they have like cowboys and gunfights in the street and all of that kind of thing. So it's a really dark picture on screen. It isn't that dark in real life, but it's just him posing with a bunch of like the cowboys and the sheriffs and things that were part of the activities that were going on in Tombstone the day that he was there. And so I have that position kind of in that bottom corner, and I'm going to add some more details down there. But then I have these really cool adhesive cork stars. I almost said hearts. Why do I always do that on video, you guys? I always say the opposite of what I mean when I'm talking about hearts and stars. So I have all these cork stars in different sizes, and these are from the Redefined Kreative shop. And we do have hearts too. But I'm just kind of trying to decide where I want my clusters of those to go. So what I kind of settle on is I'm going to have one cluster that has 5, and then I'm going to have a cluster of 3 with my banners, and then a cluster of 3 with my pictures. And that's going to allow me to have that visual triangle going on. And the reason I am putting the 5 stars over there by that one big arrow is because I'm going to put my title in there. So I wanted to say Wild West, and so I'm going to position the letters before I glue down the cork, because I want to kind of have them nestled around that title element. And these little tiny white foam thickers that are like my favorite thing ever from Paige Evans, fit perfectly inside that little arrow to give me a title element. And it would also be really cute to put some journaling in those arrows. I didn't do that on this particular layout, but it would be super cute. So then I'm also going to put the word Tombstone underneath my photo down on the bottom, just to kind of show where he's at, what's going on. But so far I'm liking how everything's coming together. I don't feel like I need a ton of embellishing, because that cut file and all of those bright pattern paper arrows is really gonna kind of take over that job for me. And I love having this white cut file on that really dark pattern paper background. So don't always think that you need to stick with a white cardstock background. I personally love using pattern paper or darker colors for my background. You could easily create the same look with a piece of like dark turquoise cardstock rather than this particular pattern paper. But then I'm going to go ahead and sift through this adventure collection, both the cards and the ephemera pieces. And the ephemera pack had 2 phrases I wanted to use that say adventure and I'll go anywhere. But I needed a third one to put under my title in that last cluster. So there was a card in the like pocket cards pack that had some phrases you could cut out, and one of them says let's go, so that one worked perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and get those nestled, one in each of my clusters, and then I wanted to put this extra arrow kind of pointing directly to the picture. So I just took that out of the ephemera pack, added a little piece of foam like adhesive behind it, and now it's popped up again on top, so that just kind of brings even more definition to my picture. Then I'm just going to go ahead and add a few enamel dots. So I have some bigger white ones, and then I have some light gray and some dark gray, and those are just going to get scattered in all of my embellishment clusters, and that is basically going to do it. So sometimes when you use something like a really fun cut file like this, you don't have to do a ton of other work in embellishing as far as your layout goes. I really love how this collection works together with those cork shapes. So if you have some cork in your stash, I would dig that out, and I'll be back to see you guys again soon. Bye!